Hello, my name is King, and welcome to the Conscious Real Estate Investors Roundtable, where we invest with a higher purpose. Our mission with the Roundtable is to invest with a higher purpose to transform Baltimore City through real estate and business development. We are a membership-based organization comprised of real estate investors, developers, homeowners, community stakeholders, and real estate professionals who are committed to transforming Baltimore one block at a time without displacing its current residents. We do this by being a membership-based organization where everybody agrees to work together to build a better Baltimore. And we have investor and developer members. Currently, we have 43, but we want to build to 300 so that we can see capacity where we train developers as well as home buyers, which we call our community stakeholders, on how to engage in this wealth building activity in real estate and business development. And for our community stakeholders, we currently have 12, and we're looking for 1,000. And so this presentation is to give you more information on how to either be and join the roundtable as either a community stakeholder, which that means you're interested in renting a property from us or buying a property from us as a home buyer in anywhere from a 3 to 5 year period of time, or you want to be a developer and learn the business of real estate, and we can teach you from scratch how to be a developer, how to buy properties from the city or any other source such as auctions, and begin to build those properties and make profit from it. But again, remember, we're building with a higher purpose. So our goal is to really help our residents and help our city transform where everybody benefits. And when we say conscious, what we're doing is we really are beginning to embody the principles of conscious capitalism. And those principles are based off a larger organization that was created by Whole Foods owner John Mackey called Conscious Capitalism, where there's 40 chapters around the world. I'm the former president and founder of the DC chapter, and we're going to bring those principles within conscious capitalism to real estate development and deploy them through the Conscious Roundtable. And our core values as an organization, and that's where really defines how we're conscious. Because number one is value creation. We want to make sure that we create value for all stakeholders, thereby creating an environment in which everyone thrives. Not just survive, but thrives. Number two is service. We have a specific approach to service that we have, which we call our tier approach: education, support, and resources, to make sure that everybody who's a member of our organization is benefiting from the education, ongoing support, and then providing these individuals who are members with the resources they need to be successful. Love. Love is a key value because we believe that love is the energy that connects us all. And that through love and having love as a focus point or core value, we have that as a measurement tool to make sure that everyone is receiving love and benefiting from love. Not love from the romantic sense of love, but love from the unconditional sense that we care and we see each other as human beings, and it's in my best interest to look out for your best interest, and we all work together to create a cohesive ecosystem that everybody thrives in. Authenticity, staying true to our higher purpose, our mission, and our conscious capitalism principles that you're going to hear in a second. Being an organization of integrity, where our words and actions are completely aligned. Trust, make sure that we extend trust to you as potential community stakeholders, where we don't use credit as a criteria to get into our property. So we're going to extend trust that we can work and build with you. And then trust where you extend to us, where you understand that as we begin to work to build these block by block strategies, that it's going to require a belief that we can create the value for these properties that currently doesn't exist. And that through a collaborative effort where everybody working together through a synergistic endeavor, we can create the value. And that's where that trust really becomes so important. And then transparency. You're going to understand completely every bit of what we're building on, what we're doing. There'll be no paperwork that you don't understand. You're going to be clear on everything. We really want to change the culture of real estate investing as it currently stands. So the four core principles of conscious capitalism is, number one, we call it higher purpose, which means you have to have a higher purpose behind your business than just making money. We use an analogy to say that just as a computer needs electricity to operate, that's not the primary purpose of a computer. just as a business needs money to operate, that should not be the primary purpose of a business, just to make money. It should be able to create value for its stakeholders and create value within its ecosystem that the business exists in. Stakeholder management. All key stakeholders must benefit from the building of this business, and they will be involved in the layout and what we're doing on the blocks that we're building, our whole model. Stakeholders being typical, your employees, the employees of the roundtable, the customers, the members of the roundtable, the community itself, they're a key stakeholder, our strategic partners, where you're going to learn and meet who we're building with, and then finally our shareholders, the individuals who invest in our company, are also key stakeholders, and they understand that if the other four stakeholders benefit, they will benefit greater. Conscious leadership. Whereas conscious leaders, we actually create a business to solve a problem, not to make money. But through that problem solving, because we are for-profit businesses, then our profits are commensurate with the value that we bring to the ecosystem that we're currently operating in. And then conscious culture, which we believe in paying a living wage. We believe in diversity hiring. We believe in running our company according to core principles, which I went through earlier. Now, as a Conscious Roundtable, we have 4 key objectives that define what we're here to do as part of our vision and our mission. Number 1, we want to create sustainable home ownership. Excuse me. And that can only be achieved through creating pre- and post-home buying education. Education is going to always be at the focal point of what the Roundtable is doing. Educating the developers so they can build businesses as developers within the Roundtable. Also educating the stakeholders. Educating our business members so they can build businesses that thrive and grow within the Roundtable. So education is going to be cornerstone. And then we're going to be developing a market in historically black neighborhoods. And Baltimore City has 16,000 or up to 30,000, depending on the source, of vacant properties in the city. So this allows us to have this block by block strategy where we're going to be buying blocks of properties, but they're going to be predominantly in historical black neighborhoods. And we want to keep that culture there. We want to keep that historical value there. We want to use that as an incentive to attract folks who want to live in these neighborhoods because they once were neighborhoods that folks like Thurgood Marshall and Willie Adams, as well as Frederick Douglass, and individuals like those, the Clarence Mitchell family, walked through these streets and were able to build a thriving community. And we want to restore Baltimore City back to those kind of days where there was pride in Baltimore City, not just pain, poverty, and suffering. Business development is another core goal that we're going to have, where we're going to make sure that we have business owners who are going to be an initial target market for the Roundtable. Because we want entrepreneurs who live in these properties, and they're going to be our anchor tenants, or our anchor buyers, I should say, because we can help them build out a business that can help them be more affordable for the properties. They can use the wealth they're going to build by living in the property to invest in their business. Then eventually we're going to expand the Roundtable market to go for the traditional home buyers who just want to live in a community. But by that time, the anchor folks are in place, and we've done a lot of community building that's necessary, such as improving the streets, making them safer, cleaning the blocks, all those things that our anchor tenants or our anchor community stakeholders will help us build out. Our conscious workforce development. So we want to make sure that we hire Baltimore City residents to be our labor force, so that we're not bringing folks from DC or New York or Virginia here into Baltimore City to be our construction team. We want to hire and train and mentor young Baltimore residents who don't have jobs right now. So we partner with ABC's Jumpstart program so they can provide the actual construction training so that someone can learn all those skills. And then we also partner with several different universities, such as Compton, such as Morgan State, that provides the STEAM training, science, technology, engineering, and arts, and mathematics, so that if you're youth or a young man or a young woman who's not interested in construction, but you want to get into the science, technology, engineering, and art or mathematics departments, we're going to provide those kind of workforce development training vehicles as well. Then wealth creation. Everything we're advocating for, everything we're doing, wealth creation has to be at the corner store. We're not just building businesses to house individuals. We're using real estate and business development as a mechanism for building wealth. And we're going to teach individuals how to build wealth through these endeavors. And then finally, community stakeholders, leaders, because we realize that Baltimore City suffers from so many different social ills. that just providing housing and business opportunity is not going to address the other issues such as food deserts, such as returning citizens, such as child care. And so our model incorporates that, and we look for emerging stakeholder leaders that we can train, nurture, provide the resources so that they can be the best of who they're going to be as well. We look to create over 200 jobs over the next 12 months. And we're going to need your help in doing that. So if you're interested in being a part of Roundtable, please continue to listen, because our goal is we're creating a movement here, and we're going to need conscious, passionate individuals who want to bring about a positive change in Baltimore City. Our company, we decided to base our business here in Baltimore City, and we specialize in building, rehabilitating, and leasing residential homes in Baltimore City in phase 1. Phase 2, we'll be moving over to commercial property so that we can begin to build out corner stores, we can begin to build out mixed-use buildings so that we can now create structures and buildings where it's residents combined with on the first floor, either a rental unit or a retail space, so the business owners can now run their business out of the actual building that they live in. That's the benefit, and those are the opportunities that Baltimore City provides for us. And our company was founded in 2016. So we're a new company, but we're committed, we're passionate, and we're going to make sure that everybody thrives in this ecosystem that we're building. We're committed to transforming Baltimore City through real estate development, and we're going to provide energy efficient homes, green space, and more importantly, sustainable home ownership. Not just sustainable from an environmental context, but sustainable because of the education, the nurturing, the support, and the resources that we're providing to our members so that they continue to thrive and grow. Here are some examples and pictures of some of our members in the Roundtable, and as you can see, it's a very diverse set of individuals who are all happy, engaged, because we're developing and building, and more importantly, investing with a higher purpose. And these are just different photos from different events that we've had, but all of these are showing either our members or our strategic partners that we're working with, but individuals who are committed to bring about change in the Roundtable, and change, more importantly, in Baltimore City. And the Conscious Capitalism movement is one of the most diverse organizations I've ever been a part of. This conscious higher purpose mantra, it resonates with folks, and it breaks and goes beyond the traditional race issues or societal issues or class or any of these societal labels that separates us. We all come together because we have a common goal, we have a common interest, which is to improve and bring about revitalization of Baltimore City. And as you see, as we transition now into the conscious community movement that we're building, the conscious community movement is going to consist of, number one, Conscious Community Baltimore, which is going to be an umbrella nonprofit organization that everything falls under. And what I mean by that is, number one, we're going to start by having an investment development fund. So if you're an investor and you're looking for a 8 to 12% return on your money, then you can put your money in our investment fund, and we will use your money to invest in real estate and invest in these businesses, and you'll be able to get a 8 to 10% return on your money over a 3 to 5 year period of time. And this is an excellent way to invest in our communities. And we want to use that money so that we can purchase properties, renovate properties, and then be the bank to finance the folks who are our community stakeholders while they're living in the properties. We can provide them an affordable model where they can live in the property and buy the property in a 3 to 5 year period of time. And the investment fund allows us to be able to do that. Next, the real estate component of it, Conscious RT. We got developer services, as I mentioned before, community stakeholder buyers, properties that we're going to purchase, and then train and work with developers and help them begin to be conscious, become aware. And this is how we're going to scale our model within Baltimore City. We're going to develop a Conscious Capitalism business chapter, which is going to be dedicated to helping mentor, coach, train, and support aspiring entrepreneurs, help them either start a business or help them grow their existing business. And so that's what the Conscious Capitalism business chapter is designed for. Our Conscious Community Stakeholder Association is a nonprofit to training those stakeholder leaders so they can understand how to be more engaged in their community, provide them resources so that they can understand how best to deal with some of the social issues facing those communities, as I mentioned earlier, such as returning citizens, and child care, and how to deal with safety, and then more importantly, green space. So keeping our communities, our streets clean. We're going to have a conscious workforce development, job creation, that I mentioned to you earlier. So as you begin to see how this is beginning to mold, we're realizing that we have to have a village model mindset in order to change a city. And that's what this diagram is showing you. And then finally, we're going to have a production company, Conscious Media, where we're developing media content such as blogs. We're going to be having a radio show, a TV show, and we're going to be showcasing ways that we can keep our members engaged by providing them conscious, positive educational resources so they can stay engaged in our movement. Our team. So we're a team of business professionals who bring a variety of experience from marketing, finance, and construction that has over 100 years combined experience. I'm the owner and founder. I have 20 years experience as a real estate investor, and I've structured over lease option deals that are valued over $2 million. Our vice president is Tanya Taylor, and she's been able to manage over 23 years of managing experience in environmental construction. And she also is a key investor into the Roundtable and has purchased over 15 homes within the Roundtable. Tiffany Staten, who's our director of development. She has an MSIC license. She's a Baltimore City resident. And more importantly, she formed an organization called Regal Homes that is dedicated to doing the home construction building. And she's going to be our director of development. Stephanie Welch is our director of community stakeholders. And then Caroline Leo, who's built over 100 properties in Baltimore City. She currently develops 6 to 8 properties each year, and she has extensive rehabbing experience in Baltimore City. So we have a very strong team of individuals who are helping us carry out the Roundtable's mission and vision. Here are some of our strategic partners within the Conscious Roundtable. As you can see, we have the African American Home Builders Cooperative. We have the Kaiser Permanente Network for Developing Conscious Communities, Bond Security Community Services, Conference State. We work with universities, Leadership Baltimore, which is a leadership function, or a group of civic leaders that we've been able to build relationships with. I'm a former 2018 Leadership Baltimore graduate. We work with United Way, Catholic Charities, 2 churches, so we also work within the religious community, as well as you see the Nation of Islam, so we don't let religion be a barrier. We work across all religious backgrounds so that, again, we're building a conscious community that we can leave off societal labels and all begin to work and build together. We work with several different nonprofit organizations, community-based, such as Fair Street Outreach, which is one of the neighborhoods we're building in, and we partner with this nonprofit to help them by donating our time, donating money, bringing resources so that they can execute their programs, which help the community begin to build and thrive. Innovation Works, Baltimore Brothers Inc., and then our funding institutions such as PNC, MECU, and then M&T Bank. Here is a snapshot of the market we're working on. So we currently, but not limiting ourselves long term, but just getting started, to invest in 3 West Baltimore neighborhoods. The Penrose Fair Street Outreach, which is neighborhood 1, Harlem Park, which is neighborhood 2, and then Forest Park, which is neighborhood 3. And our focus is on developing single-family properties with a minimum of 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, with an approximate resale value between $150,000 to $250,000. So we're going to start by having a tour and hosting a tour, and you're welcome to come out to a tour, which we call the ENCLAVE at West FAIRMONT, where we're building what we call smart business homes, homes that are not only newly constructed from ground up scratch, everything's new, but they're also going to have broadband Ethernet. So they're going to be more designed for business and entrepreneurs to be able to tap into a lot of video demands and a more business-oriented house. For example, an entrepreneur like myself, and I'm single, I don't need a living room and a dining room. What I need is space that can be conducive for me to run my business out of, a separate office or a media room. And so beginning to build houses that really fit our target market is very important. Our renovation costs on these properties after we buy them from the city for $5,000 runs about approximately $110,000. So we end at $115,000. After repair value that we want to sell these properties, not today, but in 5 years, is for $150,000. Again, these are 2-bedroom, 2-bath homes. So we're looking at roughly a $35,000 profit per property. That's where we're looking at. That's a gross profit. And some of these renovation features that you see that are going to be in a home, they're going to be 80% energy efficient, 50-gallon electric water gas tanks. They're going to have gas ranges, microwaves, and vents. They're going to have central air, pre-wired for phone and cable, concrete patios. Those just to name a few that features that we provide in each house that we build. Washer and dryer, garbage disposal, brick formstone repairs, and then lead-free, so that we make sure that we're putting properties that don't harm our community stakeholders or our community, but help lift them up so that they don't have the diseases and some of the systems that come from lead-based paint poisoning. Here's some photos of some of the properties on Fairmont, so you can see just clearly, quickly, how we have the back door. This is the kitchen area here, a hallway to the kitchen area, one and full bathrooms, the sink in the bathroom, stairs that lead upstairs, and then a fireplace. So just kind of give you an idea. Here's an exterior front photo of a property where, again, everything's new, everything's painted. We're delivering clean, affordable houses that are newly built, 80% energy efficient. So we're proud of the product that we're building. Our strategies. Our business team, we look at 4 key segments of how we break down our processes. Number 1, we're going to purchase REOs and blighted properties from either the city, auctions, or we're going to get properties brought in from the community themselves, where we'll buy those properties directly from private owners in Baltimore City. We're going to do an investment analysis and our due diligence so we can see what's the best strategy for those properties and what's the best cost to pay for those properties, and then how best to leverage our capital stack. You know, can we utilize tips, new market tax credits, opportunity zones, you know, or subsidies from the city. We got to begin to look at how we can structure each deal that comes our way. And then our Invest to Own program, which I'm going to get more into detail of, is our key strategy because it helps us to begin to put existing Baltimore City residents who are renting into a home ownership situation where we're not making them qualify for a mortgage today. We can allow them to move into the property today, work with them while they're living in the property to improve their credit, become mortgage qualified, then they can buy their property in 3 to 5 years, again, depending on their credit situation and depending on the exit strategy for that block that we're developing. And then our Conscious Stakeholder program works to eliminate the racial wealth gap. So let's get more into what our Invest to Own program looks like. So basically, our Invest to Own program is a modified rent-to-own model that's really designed to provide education, resources, and support to what we call our community stakeholder buyers. So we don't call them tenants. We don't call ourselves landlords. We want to change that naming culture to be community stakeholders. Because as a community stakeholder, you realize that you also have a vested interest in making sure this community thrives and it grows. And so within that, you're able to live in our properties as a member of the organization. By the time we have a 60-day window to find your property, but we put you in that property, we help you begin to build not only your credit and your financial profile, but help you build yourself as a business owner so that in a 5-year period of time, you're going to pay $1,500 a month, which is our typical monthly payment, with a $5,000 a month down payment. But $500 of that payment that you're paying out of that 15 goes directly to paying down the principal. So in 5 years, even though you're locked in your price today for $150, but you're actually going to receive a loan or a mortgage for $120 because that $500 a month that you paid, which is 60 months, that's a total of $30,000. So you're at the time that you close on the property, you are now in possession of $30,000 worth of equity in your property. That can either be used to purchase additional properties, it can be used to start your business. So our model is designed not only to put you in a place, but to help you build wealth as well. Then we have our conscious community wealth building model, which really talks about what I just outlined, that once you begin to build this equity, then how you leverage that to begin to build wealth. So our education classes, our mentorship, and all the resources that we're going to bring you are designed to make sure that you understand how to improve your financial and credit literacy, and how you can begin to look at how do I start businesses, how do I purchase other real estate, and how do I begin to build generational wealth for me and my family. So the online classes, because we provide for my curriculum four core courses that we provide both online as well as in classroom. So we partner with Compton State University every second Sunday of the month. Every second Saturday of the month. We have classes at Compton in room 120 in the Science and Technology building. And we do that so that you can come and learn in an institutional environment, clean classroom, and you can learn with others real time on some of these courses. And then we also provide these courses to be 24 hours on demand, so you can take them at your leisure as well. And the online just kind of to reinforce that, or you can ask specific questions. And our first course is the 7 Steps to Development in Baltimore City for Conscious Developers. That's a course that's designed for individuals who want to learn how to be developers and how to, more importantly, be conscious developers. We have our second course is 7 Keys to Real Estate Investing for Conscious Investors. Those are individuals who are not so much interested in being a developer. And a developer is someone, to point out the difference between a developer and an investor. A developer is someone who's going to basically look at understanding the neighborhood and buying a block and working with your teaching alliances, reading the master plan, understanding what job institutions and green space, all that goes into a developer's mindset. Assuming the funding together, bringing institutional partners together in order to really transform a community. That's a developer. An investor is more concerned about, I'm going to buy a house here or two, or I'm just going to put my money up and get a return on it. So they're not really trying to be as broad vision as a developer, but they're usually going to be more singular focused. Or they may be a business owner, someone just looking to understand, how do I get into the business of real estate, buying properties, renovating properties, or structuring deals and making a profit off the margin based on the knowledge I have to be able to put these deals together. And that gets into the 7-week course as well, the Real Estate Problem Solvers course, where we teach our individuals how to solve problems, not how to make money, but how to walk into a situation and create a win-win where the property owner and the person who's coming to buy the property, everybody benefits, everybody's happy, and you get a chance to put a deal together and you make money within that margin space because you're creating value and you're solving a problem. And both parties, the property owner and the potential buyer, both see the value that you bring and don't mind paying you a fee for structuring that deal. And then we have a 12-week course on how to raise capital. Because again, I can't stress enough, particularly as black business owners, we know that the banks don't lend to it traditionally. It's more difficult to get private capital unless we have those social capital, those relationships. So you really have to have a capital raising mindset. And we're going to teach a course on how to go about raising capital. Anywhere up to, according to the 2012 Jobs Act, you can actually now crowdfund for $1 million for your business or your real estate development projects. And we teach you exactly how to do that and what's going to cost in order to make that happen. And then finally, our conscious stakeholder classes, which are, again, financial literacy, credit management, pre and post home ownership. So our strategies for leads and acquisitions. We want to look for properties on online sources. We have several members of the Roundtable who are real estate professionals and members of the National Association of Realtors, so they have access to the MLS. We're also going to look for FSBOs, which is for sale by owners, or we look for properties on Craigslist. National Community Stabilization Trust is basically a nonprofit organization that Freddie Mae, Freddie Mac, and several of the banks give their REO properties, and REO meaning real estate owned properties, which are foreclosed properties that the bank has taken back through a foreclosure process from an owner, and they become a part of their inventory. And they hand those properties off to the National Community Stabilization Trust, so that that trust can now manage that portfolio. And because of the Roundtable's mission and vision, we can buy those properties at 20 cents on the dollar for the most part. Market segmentation. We want to make sure that we buy properties that we can control most of the block, and that we can actually begin now to create the market in that neighborhood, because a lot of times in Baltimore City, there has been development for 30 to 50 years. So comps, which are real estate comparables, similar properties, what they sold for within 6 months don't exist. So we have to create that. And so we're very strategic in choosing which neighborhoods, which blocks that we want to work with. As I mentioned before, pre and post foreclosure houses, lead marketing through social media, website marketing, Google AdWords, put out billboard advertisement. We have conscious real estate consultants who we train to go out here, market, and find property owners who want to sell their properties or even partner with us and where they can make money. Everything stems around everybody benefiting, everyone thriving. That's the conscious way. And then word of mouth, because folks know the impact and the difference we're providing in the community. People start referring deals to us, property deals. I just got an email yesterday of someone sending me a pasta with 20 properties on one block that we can purchase. So because we have a higher purpose, because we are making a difference in the impact in the community, because we want to make sure all our stakeholders benefit, this is why this model exceeds and excels, because it brings the value to the table. And then we have our investment analysis. So our director of development, she performs extensive due diligence to determine if a property would meet our specific investment goals and criteria. Number one, we start off with property inspections to make sure that we understand exactly what's going on with the property. We create a detailed scope of work so we know if we're going to improve it, what it's going to look like, what it's going to cost. Then from there, we develop a repair cost estimate where we look at having a 5 to 10% contingency on the repairs. Again, we run comparable sales analysis, which is look at the comparable, the comps in the neighborhood to figure out what's the best after repair value, which is the most realistic. And in Baltimore City, you know there's block by block, so you can't go neighborhood by neighborhood. So you have to really have a very detailed, experienced Baltimore City, a person who's familiar with Baltimore City to help you understand how to analyze those properties. And then that helps us determine our purchase price for buying a property and then our purchase price for being able to sell the property. And then we look at what we say is the MPP, maximum purchase price, equals after repair value minus fixed cost minus repair cost, and that becomes our profit. And again, some other things we look at is the risk overall, risk of the neighborhood, risk of not getting our money out, risk of maybe not being able to sell the property, risk of property taking too long to develop. We factor those things in, our scope, our schedule, our profitability, and our strategic operations. So here are some of the properties that we've already finished and developed so you get an understanding of our work. And we offer project management services as well, drawing scopes of work. So again, if you are a member of the Roundtable and maybe the Roundtable doesn't own the property, but you as a member own it, then these are services we provide for you as well. And we work with local architects and building departments to ensure our projects are being built according to building code. We have contracted bidding and budgeting. We want to make sure we hire contractors who are members of the Roundtable so that they can actually begin to build wealth as well. We develop a clear, detailed project schedule so we can stay on point and make sure that we're completing projects on time. And then we have a quality control mechanism in place so that we can make sure that everything is held to a certain standard. We're not rushing anything, and every single community stakeholder buys a property that's been properly vetted, that's been properly built, and that's been going to be properly maintained. So our marketing and sales, how we plan on disposing of these properties through our website that we have, which is REI Nexus. Our community stakeholder buyers pipeline, so we are already in the process of building more community stakeholder buyers, which we have more right now than we have properties. So we're going to continue to expand that because our goal is sell the homes even before we finish. We don't want to have to worry about putting properties on the market. But if we did, then we would use Facebook, and then we would use offline marketing strategies such as events and comping, word of mouth, and partner with our churches and other organizations that we're affiliated with. So our exit strategy is real clear and simple. Basically, we have two different exit strategies that we use to make sure that our strategies are both creative and versatile enough to turn market risk into opportunities. Number one is buy, rehab, and resell. That means we buy a property, we rehab a property, and we resell it. We only do that if the market's there, the comps are there, the after repair value is there. If our community stakeholder has credit to do that, then we do that. We'll use a resale model. But based on our analysis and based on the neighborhood, we realize that the market doesn't exist and we have to create the market. Then we're going to buy, rehab, lease purchase, and then finance, which is that $50 million fund. That's where that money comes into play. So those are the two basic exit strategies that we're constantly looking at. You know, we don't do rentals. Either we're buying and doing resale, or we're buying and doing a rent-to-own model. Our competitive advantage as a company, our investor-owned program, our conscious guarantee, which is a 24-month full warranty to cover all the maintenance, so our community stakeholders don't have to worry about any maintenance costs for the first 2 years they're in the property. We believe in building with the highest quality craftsmanship, affordable pricing. Then our home is going to be move-in ready. Our company goals and objectives is basically in the first fiscal year, we want to have a resale minimum of 4 properties that they're going to be $1 million in sales we're going to achieve and $150,000 in net income. Our company goals and objectives is to continue to increase the number of deals, increase the revenue per deal, and then increase the profit margin as well. This is a 5-year financial outlook of the projects. We're saying year 1, we're going to do 4, 7, year 3, 10, then up to year 5, we're doing 16. Just kind of to give you an idea of our revenue and our net income model. So we're starting here at year 5, $150,000 and $1 million. By year 2, we had $1,925,000 and $308,000 in profits. Then by year 5, we had $5,600,000 in net gross sales with $1,120,000 in profit in 5 years. Our keys to success are our project management team and our strategic hires. We have the right people who are passionate, who are conscious, who believe in the vision, who believe in the mission, and they are Baltimore City residents, and many of them even live in our properties. So they have vested interest in being successful. Number 2 is our strategic partnerships and relationships we have with institutions, universities, faith-based institutions, as well as community-based nonprofit organizations, and the city of Baltimore itself. Number 3, our business systems. Everything we do is going to be put into a business system so that we can scale and grow, we can measure, we can quantify, and we can duplicate so we can expand this from one neighborhood to multiple neighborhoods in Baltimore City. And then number 4 is our core values. We believe in growth through core values, providing high quality properties for affordable sales. And thank you for your time. This is a presentation, and I appreciate you listening. And if you're interested in being a member, we look forward to joining the Roundtable.